Hi, welcome back. We will now have Vanessa to talk about Notion and how you can integrate it into your current production pipeline.
It's just the last talk before lunch, so you're probably pretty hungry. I'm gonna keep it pretty jam-packed, so fingers crossed we can finish this early and head to lunch. All good. I guess I can sit down because the presentation is here. Okay, so my name is Vanessa. I'm the community lead at Notion, and today I'm going to talk to you about how game developers use Notion to build, scale, and stay sane. Yeah. Oops. Does any of you use Notion? Oh, okay, I'm preaching to the crowd. Okay, you basically know what it is, a connected workspace where you can, we can type, make notes, collaborate, automate tasks all in one place. Ooh, okay. So, you'd probably be surprised. Students are already using Notion on day-to-day basis, students like you. But you'd probably be surprised that to find out that some game developers actually use Notion for their systems as well. And I actually just met one out there who actually used Notion in his process. So he should be up here talking about that. But you've got me. Yeah, so I'm going to show you a short video explanation on how a solo game creator actually used Notion. And it's going to be about 45-second long, so just bear with me for a little bit.
As I jump into a hopefully productive year of game development in 2024, Notion continues to be my tool of choice for organizing and tracking progress against my projects and goals. The template I'm using for managing my current role-playing game is Notion's own projects template. This template allows you to define a project and build out all the tasks and subtasks you need within that project. From there, you can create all sorts of custom properties to group and track these tasks however you want. For example, I have a status property typed for tasks, bugs, and features, and tags for which parts of the game a given task impacts. I've used all that to create a homepage for my project that has everything I need in one place. A board with my full backlog or just the tasks I'm actively working on at a glance, along with other sections for defects I'm tracking and ideas that I want to explore more thoroughly. And of course, it's all really nice to look at, perfect for the second monitor. If you're looking to level up your organization, give Notion a try.
Okay, so I actually contacted DevDuck and I'm like, you should talk about this here, but he's got a launch tomorrow. So I had his permission to showcase his video, but he's a great resource for solo creator out there because he actually records and all his game development journey and in Notion, and you can have a full you can get the insights from him basically. And for any game developers starting out there and you're not sure where to start, there are heaps of templates that are already available. As you can see here, there are free ones, there are paid ones that will kind of help kickstart your journey out there. So you can develop your lore, you can develop your gameplay, your characters all in one place. But to showcase the Notion usage for end-to-end game development journey, I think it's best if we look at Multiverse. So Multiverse is a virtual tabletop RPG gaming company that at one point actually raised $17.5 million US. And it was started as a team of 5 people. And I think a lot of you is any of you familiar with this game? Okay, so I think they were quite special at the time because they actually had both the creators and players creating this universe from the library of pixel arts that they created. So you'll get a glimpse of how it works as I'm walking through how they use Notion in their processes. So when we think about game creation, I think a lot of you would think about the coding and creativity. So yes, these are really important components, if not foundational components in making games, but then you often overlook at the systems that are behind the scenes. But this system is actually the one that shapes your culture, powers your collaboration, and helps you grow your community as your game levels up. So let's rewind to the early days of Multiverse. Let's set the scene. They had a vision to revolutionize tabletop RPG gaming that actually serve both creators and players. The team actually started very small, as I mentioned, 5 people, and they made a decision that was crucial for the growth of, their business decision down the corner. So they decided to be fully remote from day one. So can you imagine as it scaled to over 1 million users, it had 2 problems. Can you guess what the problems are? So what's the problem that usually as games grow, what do you think are some of the, yeah? Sorry? Scope, yes, scope is one of them. And I think that would actually, I call this the boss battle challenge. I don't know if that's the appropriate term. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So their massive challenge is actually to build something that is revolutionary while managing the chaos of rapid growth. And this applies to game development team, but this also applies to companies, any startups that you're running, any even group projects. So as you're growing, that probably will get really, really chaotic very quickly the more people that you have. In university too, I'm sure. Yeah, so how do you grow a team, build the game, and nurture the community at the same time? And I think this problem is very unique to game development people. So the 2 problems that they had, if we dive deeper, is the growth paradox. How do you keep the spirit that made your game great when growth actually threatens to dilute it? And I think we see that a lot in a lot of games. As there are more people joining it, maybe the culture changes, shifts, and then down the line, you don't even recognize what it used to be. Secondly, at its peak, it actually hired 30 team members, and they're engineers, designers, artists, marketers, spread across different time zones. As I mentioned, they were all fully remote. So how do you build a company culture that protects creative vision as it grows? Comes Notion. Okay. I'm completely biased here, so I'm just gonna show you how they do it and let me know if you have any qualms, any questions whatsoever. So this is Tariq Shipar, the CEO and co-founder, and he decided that this was a key problem. Notion could become the engineer that helps their team collaboration. So they actually treat information as adventure. For their internal Wikidocs, they actually use Notion for their interactive all-hand meeting notes. They insert the GIFs, the toggles, the links, so that in their all-hand meetings, they could just share that document right away. And you probably have seen this. This is probably how you use your Notion on day-to-day basis too. So you're probably quite familiar with it. So they were creating an engaging meeting experiences that reflected their gaming roots. However, they also use Notion as their public wiki. So they treat, with this, that allows them to treat their community as their co-creators. And they end up using it for their wiki that becomes the Creators Knowledge Hub. It hosted the help center, the educational content, the tutorials, and whatnot. So it created an accessible and collaborative environment for its users, using the platform to thrive from the creator communities. And this is crucial. So imagine they're hiring and they're like, oh, I think we need a new designer, like immediately. And instead of getting a web developer to come in and spend a couple of hours building a new page, they actually just did it on Notion. They just published it. So instead of wasting developer time on the job posting, they created a dynamic careers page in Notion where the hiring team could manage independently, freeing the developers to focus on its core product. And they actually published this job board as a template on Notion. So I'm gonna share with you the Notion Game Developer Pack at the end of the preso, but it's also available at our booth. And here, this is the fun bit. And this is, I think, where they really nailed it because they turned the employee onboarding into a character creation. So this is Michelle. Her pronouns is she and her. And then what you don't see here is actually the work preferences, her strength, her weaknesses, and they basically stayed true to their RPG route. And all of this actually showed us what happens when systems become your superpowers. So when systems become your superpowers, Multiverse actually got to preserve their creative vision and culture. They got to empower their team member. They reduced the technical debt. As I mentioned, less time on the internal tooling, more time for game developing. Oops. They enhanced the user experience because, as I mentioned, the public-facing wiki became a content that the users and the players and the creators would actually want to read. Imagine like, I don't want to read release notes, but I would want to read if it has GIFs and instruction and like clear, yeah. Okay. And lastly, with all of these qualities, they actually got to attract top talent. They have a unique culture that became a competitive advantage when they're hiring, and candidates chose Multiverse over other companies because of this super innovative approach. So with this well set up system in Notion, it managed to build and maintain its creative first culture. We're just here like to reiterate the creative focus that Notion afforded Multiverse allows them to build a better product, build a stronger community, which then made them a top talent attraction, and at the same time, they got to preserve their culture. So it was this cycle that allowed Multiverse to thrive. And then, the Notion AI came. Well, AI is it's the buzzword, it's everywhere. So I'm just gonna touch on this very lightly because I think this is a new thing, but a lot of companies are using Notion AI to kind of make that process that was easy even faster. So if you don't know, I think OpenAI actually uses Notion to develop ChatGPT. Cursor, if you have heard of the little AI agent company, that they also use Notion. So a lot of these startups are already using Notion and Notion AI to kind of supercharge their growth. So first of all, if you go to Notion, if you click at the bottom right-hand side, there is something called, we call it Nosy. So this icon is called Nosy. And you can ask Nosy like to generate your characters' backstories, world lore, game mechanics. But I don't think this is the best use case for it because ChatGPT does that, Claude does that, your brain does that. I think your creativity should come from you yourself. But you can actually use it to turn like a rough notes into a polished design document, explain a complex code in like a really simple English, very useful for someone non-technical like me. And you could draft the copy for your Steam engine, for your web, or if you're working in a multicultural team or multi-regional geographical team, you can actually use it to translate all your documents as well. And you can so for example, if your game is available, probably now is in English, but maybe in the future it'll be available in Japanese or Korean, you can use Notion to help you translate that. So this is already happening because when I have meetings with my Korean team, I could just see her like sharing her screen and then translating my document right away. I'm like, okay, all right. And lastly, yes, game creation, game development is a core part of your process, but you probably also need to market it so that you can ensure that people are playing it. So you can use it also to plan your marketing content. And a lot of people are asking, is it safe? Is my data being used to train the AI agent? In short answer, it's not. We are using, we don't have our own LLM model. So this is we actually plug in Claude, the latest model of Claude, Gemini, and OpenAI. But those data is not being fed back to the platform for their training purposes. So you can brainstorm with AI at peace. This one's life-changing. This is the last AI feature I'm going to showcase, promise you. So if you go to your Notion and you can actually just type /meeting and it will actually start your meeting notes. So if you're having a meeting with someone, you can just start transcribing it. And I know a couple of people use different tools and they would copy. A startup just asked me 2 weeks ago, it's like, what do you use for your meeting notes? Because I've been using this other tool and I have to copy the text there and then move it back to Notion. I'm like, what the, you just type /meeting and then that comes up. So I've been showing people this and it's been life-changing for me and I hope that changes your life as well. So you can use this for meeting notes and lecture notes equivalent. And the best part, if you use it for meetings, it will actually tell you at the bottom the action items, who promised to deliver what. So it's all in there, yeah. This brings us to the end of the presentation. If you don't know, students and student organization and educators do get Notion for free with the .edu email account. And me and the campus leaders, Achin, Oki, we actually created a Notion for MQU page to host like activities for Notion activities happening on campus. So you can scan that there to find out more. And if you want to try out any of the AI feature, as educators and students, you do get the 50% Notion for free. If you are wondering how much that is, I think it's like $5 USD a month per person, and that's like $7.50 Aussie dollars, which is about the price of matcha. Yay! And yeah, so I've talked about the game developer, Notion for Game Developer Starter Kit in the beginning. This is my work, but if you feel like, hey, there's not enough resource on this, I kind of want to build it with you, happy to like develop this with you. Basically, I created a kit for game developers to kind of get started on Notion. So there are templates there, resources, tutorials, and there's some of DevDuck's videos out on there, so it kind of helps you to get started. You can also, if you are further down the track on your game development journey or your startup journey, if you have a domain, you can actually sign up for Notion Business with AI for free. So this is a perks that we give to startups, and the definition of startups can be very wide. It's like basically someone who is creating a company, and the only definition we do is like if they have a domain. I know that's not the perfect measure, but we need some sort of like legitimacy for a business to sign up for this offer. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Come down to Notion booth. You can get this custom Notion face stickers, or Notion avatar, I would call it. And there are also other Notion stickers available around. And otherwise, talk to campus leaders around here. Thank you.
Love it. Awesome.